Hey guys, how's it going? Dev Sports Talk here again. I'm here to talk to y'all a little bit about the college football playoff rankings. Those recently just came out a couple days ago. There's been a lot of controversy over all of them. Um, you have Alabama at number one, which if you didn't put Alabama number one, you're crazy. We've got Clemson at number two, Ohio State at three, and Washington at four. At the beginning of the year, I don't think anybody expected Washington to be in there. I still don't think anybody expected Washington to be in there right now. The people that were notable snubs was Penn State, Michigan, and not Wisconsin. Sorry, Oklahoma. I might say Wisconsin was one of the people that Penn State just beat, and that was the reason why they believed Penn State should actually be number four instead of Washington or Ohio State. There's a couple of controversial things that are going on in this playoff bracket. Definitely want to know what y'all think. Leave a comment down in the description letting me know what do you think your top four should be and who should be in the playoffs. And do you also believe that there should be a bigger playoff? Do you think there should be an 8-team playoff, 16 playoff? Not 6 teams, sorry. 8-team or 16-team playoff? Let me know in the comments and to see what you think. But first I'm going to go off with Alabama. Alabama obviously has earned their spot every year that they go into there. There should be no question into what's going on. After a strong win against Florida, 54-16 recently, in the SEC championship game, which Florida was ranked number 15. So that was actually a decent game. They fell off at the beginning. That was their first touchdown allowed within the last month. So their defense has been great. So obviously Alabama deserves to be number one, and there's no argument in between that. Clemson being number two is a little different. Most people didn't like the Clemson going all the way up to number two. People thought maybe Clemson should be 4 or 3. Their most notable game this year was when they lost to Pittsburgh, 42-43, which, I mean, that was their only game they lost this year. So they have done really well. They've also had some pretty close games and games that they probably shouldn't have won, like the Florida State game. That was a very close game. They barely beat Virginia Tech. They beat Auburn at the beginning of the year. They barely won that one too. So and almost lost to Troy. So there was a lot of controversy on Clemson being that high ranked up because nobody knows how well they're going to do in the playoffs. They haven't proven themselves to be crazy great contenders yet. And so obviously everybody's a little skeptical on that. But they are ranked number 2. Number 3 would be Ohio State, which Ohio State's a good school. Been rolling recently. They've obviously had a lot of shutout wins. I remember their first 3 games against Bowling Green, Tulsa, and Oklahoma. I know against Bowling Green, I believe they had like 70 points against Tulsa. I think they beat them by like 50. So they've been really crazy games. They lost to Penn State, which Penn State was actually the team that got snubbed, and that was a team that people wanted to be number 4. And with Penn State having the overall head-to-head against Ohio State, many people thought they should go in. The big thing about Penn State, though, they had 2 losses compared to the 1, 2, and 3, and 4, which Alabama only had 0 losses, obviously. Clemson, Ohio State, and Washington each had 1 loss each, which that's probably why Penn State did not get in, which is not good. But that was the Buckeyes' only loss this year. They've had very close games. They had a really good game against Michigan, which that game was very good. They proved to keep themselves in the top 4, which I believe Ohio State should be in the top 4, and they should stay in there. Now, the big controversy is Washington. As a team, they've done really good, and they've actually really surprised most of the nation. They've had decent wins. They've only lost 1 game, and that was against USC, which USC at the end of the moment is ranked number 9 right now. But they've done good. They've shown that they can actually play with the big dogs, and they've actually done really well against them. So Washington was still a little bit of a snub. I would say not a snub because they actually are number 4, but they were very underranked going into the year. But they have had an somewhat easy schedule, due to their conference and whatnot. So many people believe that they shouldn't actually be in the college football playoffs. But then that comes down to Penn State, where Penn State is number 5 and Michigan is number 6. Now, when it came down to it, Clemson was originally out of the top 4, and Michigan was in there. So a lot of people didn't like the whole Michigan being bumped out just because of their loss to they lost to Ohio State in that crazy game when they went head-to-head and they barely won in double overtime. Many people believe Michigan shouldn't even drop down to 3 or 4 from that. But then last week, Michigan also got dropped down to 6th when in the new college football playoff rankings when Washington went from number 5 to number 4. So that's pretty crazy. So that's a little bit of a change. A lot of people don't really like those. A lot of people have actually been wanting the 8 playoff game tournament now instead of the 4. I think 4 is way too small. I don't think a tournament is really semifinal. Starts at the semifinal. It should always start at a quarter or around a 16. So I believe they should actually put it up. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for listening up on this. Like I said, please put your comments on who you think who should actually be in the top 4, and should they actually expand the college football playoffs. Let me know, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.